we have a war going on between China and the US. And it's not the war that you think we're going through. This is a war on drugs, fentanyl. And China is winning. China is winning. This is a horrible story, a horrific story that I'm going to share with you guys. Now, two suspects charged with murder and the death of 1-year-old following alleged fentanyl exposure at a New York City daycare. Police arrested Carlisto Acevedo Brito, 41, and Gray Mendez, 36, after a 1-year-old boy died and 3 other kids were hospitalized because of suspected fentanyl exposure. And this is the father of the baby.
Mucha tristeza, mucho dolor.
It is pain Otoneal Felix does not have words for. His almost 2-year-old son, dead after a day at daycare. He says, we're taking him to daycare. We're not taking him to the funeral home. Little Nicholas had been going to Divino Niño on Morris Avenue only 1 week. Felix said his son seemed happy there, but police say Nicholas and 3 other children who attended yesterday were unconscious, unresponsive, and showed signs of opioid exposure, possibly fentanyl. They were all given Narcan. 2 2-year-old boys and an 8-month-old girl survived. Overnight, investigators in protective gear and masks hauling out evidence, including, police say, a device used for packaging large quantities of drugs. Mayor Eric Adams promising answers.
And we are going to find out the cause of this incident, and to the families, this is clearly an impact on us all.
The city's Department of Health says Divino Niño opened up in January and is licensed by the state. It went through 2 routine inspections as part of the process and a surprise inspection just last week. No violations were found. But now it's been a crime scene for more than 24 hours. Detectives going inside throughout the day.
The NYPD executed a search warrant at this daycare center where we discovered a kilo press. This is an item that is commonly used by drug dealers when packaging large quantities of drugs.
Tonight, the owner of the daycare and a man are in custody. Sources tell us the man rents a room in the same building.
My heart jumped because, like I said, what if it was my child?
Tonight, Felix says there is nothing that can take away their family's pain. He has no hate in his heart, but to the person or people responsible, he wants justice.
You send your baby to daycare, and what happens? They don't return home. But the most unlikely thing that you would think that would happen, the baby was exposed to fentanyl, because more likely the daycare was a cover-up. And they said these were licensed or a licensed daycare that just opened. And more likely these are immigrants. The state is probably paying for their babies to attend. And I'm wondering, the people that were arrested or own the daycare, I wonder if they're immigrants too. You guys put in the chat. Put in the chat. Do you think the owners were immigrant? I think they were. Now, this is the police chief, I'm assuming, for New York City.
At 2:43 this afternoon, we received a 911 call for 3 unconscious children at 2707 Morris Avenue here in the Bronx. This location is a daycare center named the Kingsbridge Heights Community Center. Here we found 3 children, 2 males, 2 years old, 1 female, 8 months old. All 3 children were unresponsive and demonstrating symptoms of opioid exposure. Narcan was administered to all 3 of these children in an attempt to save their lives. 2 children survived, unfortunately. 1 male, 2 years old, passed away at Montefiore Hospital at 3:29 p.m. Additionally, we learned that another child, a male, 2 years old, was removed from this same daycare center earlier in the day at 12:15 p.m. Once home, the child's mother noticed that the kid was acting lethargic and unresponsive. He was brought to Bronx Care Hospital, where he was administered Narcan, and his life was saved. The NYPD executed a search warrant at this daycare center where we discovered a kilo press. This is an item that is commonly used by drug dealers when packaging large quantities of drugs. This is an active criminal investigation. The children involved are 3 males, 2 years old, 1 female, 8 months old. 1 child was brought to Bronx Care. 3 children were brought to Montefiore Hospital. 207 Morris Avenue is a licensed daycare center by the state of New York. It was last inspected September 9th of this year, where no violations were observed. This investigation is ongoing.
It's a licensed daycare, but apparently you're not looking into the people that you administer license to. Because how the hell a drug dealer get a license to babysit kids? Does that make any sense? So not only you're not looking for people or doing all the checks at the border, you're not even doing the regular checks to licensed daycares. Oh, we need the services, so let's hurry up and get their license through. We need to hurry up and get daycares open to get their license through. That's probably what's happening. Or rush, like they're gonna rush to get these work visas for immigrants. Oh, we need the workers, or we need them to hurry up. So, just rush it through instead of taking the time and evaluating or investigating that individual. Now a baby is gone. And possibly we don't know if they're out the woods, these other young, because I don't think they ever studied the effects of fentanyl on a baby, an 8-month-old. So possibly they probably have some long-term damage. And then they had to administer Narcan, which probably has some type of detrimental effects on a baby. That's what New York City, that liberal crazy policy for you, and they're not checking anyone to make sure that these are professionals. They probably never went to school for child development or anything. They just decided, oh, I want to open up a daycare. And New York City said, oh, we got a lot of kids that we need daycare for, so we'll license you. Then they was recommending all the kids in the neighborhood, all the immigrants in the neighborhood. And who's paying for it? You're paying for it.